I took a walk through this beautiful world, felt the cool rain on my shoulder, found something good in this beautiful world. I felt the rain getting colder. Sha-la-la-la-la, sha-la-la-la-la-la, sha-la-la-la-la, sha-la-la-la-la-la.
This house came to be built by Dr. Blake, who was in the East India Company service. My grandfather came to be nominated to the body called the Council of State, which used to be a part of British India.
It was another time, one that few still remember. The India before partition, when these rooms, this house, was part of the seat of power.
I had the privilege of being born in this house, upstairs.
This was the Maharaja's bed. I mean, his chambers at present.
And it was the routine that we'd all parade up into my grandfather's room to wish him good morning. And then we'd all come down for breakfast.
The walls tell a story. Many stories.
There used to be a lot of animosity. There were two very divided classes in India. So there was a lot of tension between the ruled and the rulers. But that was a different time, you know. Now I think back and it's more like a fairy tale.
Day one in northern India, near the Pakistan border. This is Amritsar, the Indian Punjab's largest city. Population, about 1 million. This is a part of India I've never seen, a place I've always been curious about. Home to some pretty legendary cuisine. In Amritsar, they have a saying: the best food isn't cooked in people's homes. You find it on the streets.
Punjab, oh, you up in Punjab? Peace to my Delhi fam in Karova. And Tony, you a OG. Jiski Bibi Moti. Probably got fat off the makki di roti. Don't take tension, don't be fussy. Sit back, relax, have a cold glass of lassi.
Punjabis are known for their adventurous spirit, as brave warriors who spread throughout the world bringing great food with them.
Don't worry about no traffic. The elements move and weave around like it's magic. Piece of hot sugar on the beat, good looking. Beat sample sounds of my mom at home cooking.
In fact, much of the good stuff we refer to simply as Indian food comes from here.
Like fine at my mouth. Peace to my brother Tony Kano from No Doubt. Beat made from the lower in the Booker CT. Golden Temple, Amritsar, hell of a city.
The Punjab of the early 20th century saw some of the most violent resistance to British rule. And when the British finally cashed out in 1947, they carved off a huge piece, what is now Pakistan. And it remains a potential flashpoint for conflict. But that's easy to forget when you first smell the food.
Good. There we go.
Kesar da Daba. Daba meaning side-of-the-road food stall. And there are like countless dabas to choose from in this town. But this one is legendary.
See Tony eat vegetables. And like it.
You eat around this part of the world, Punjab in particular, get used to eating a lot of vegetarian.
Chickpeas, dal.
And India is one of the few places on earth where, even for me, that's not a burden.
Ooh, what's that? Oh, I'll take that. Yeah, right here, my good man. That's good sod.
In the Punjab, meat or no meat, you're almost guaranteed a free-for-all of intense colors, flavors, and spices.
Unlike some of the joyless vegetarian restaurants, in my sad experience, vegetables here are actually spicy, all taste different, different textures, and served with extraordinarily good bread. It's got this multi-tiered, crispy in the outside, chewy in the middle. It's a whole different experience.
If this was what vegetarianism meant in most of the places that practice it in the West, I'd be at least half as much less of a dick about the subject.
Look, hippie, if you made bread this good, I might eat at your restaurant.
Around here, one of the first things you notice that's different from the rest of India, turbans. Everywhere. The symbol of self-respect, bravery, and spirituality for Sikh men. Amritsar is the home, the spiritual center of the Sikh faith, the world's 5th largest and maybe most misunderstood religion. In the heart of Amritsar stands the majestic Golden Temple, the Sikh equivalent of the Vatican. Sikhs are fundamentally against any caste system, believers in religious tolerance, but they are just as fundamentally warlike when it comes to defending their principles and what they see as their territory.
Welcome to Golden Temple.
Thank you.
Today is a Guru Purab, one of the most auspicious days of the Sikh calendar. Pilgrims from all over the world come to worship, walk the perimeter, and bathe in the holy pool. All are welcome, of any faith or caste, to remove their shoes, wash their feet, cover their heads, and take part in a simple meal. This is the langar, a free vegetarian meal served to many thousands of visitors from every walk of life, every day of the year.
They serve 16 hours a day?
16 hours a day,
For how many years continuously?
300 years.
300 years.
Everyone doing the cooking, the serving, the washing of thousands and thousands of metal plates and utensils are volunteers. The sound is extraordinary.
We have a teaching that everyone should serve all 3 things, money, mind, and body.
Right.
Should be served to other people, free of cost. And that's what we do.
Walking me through it all today, Donwant Singh.
Now, for a religion that's so concerned with tolerance, where does the Grand Punjab military tradition come from? Because it's a very, very powerful one.
So powerful people, so hardworking people. Every Sikh you see, if he is baptized, he wears a small sword. In our Prophet, when we get baptized, he says, you must protect yourself, you must protect others, and you must protect your country. So that makes us what we are.
Morning. The smoke from countless burning fields covers Amritsar in a thick haze. The ancient art of Pehlwani evolved from Indian wrestling techniques that date back to the 5th century BC.
Ready, start.
Training is rigid, as this is not just a sport, but a way of life. Wrestlers live and train together and have strict rules of diet and personal conduct. No smoking, no drinking, no contact with women.
Here we go. I took high school wrestling, actually, so that I could get out of gym class. I was a dirty, dirty fighter.
It is an all too natural segue between the aggressive posturing of opposing bodies of Pehlwani and this. The entire border between India and Pakistan has only one crossing. Here at Wagah. Every sunset, the border is officially closed with this bit of national theater. Wearing nearly duplicate uniforms, the Indian military and Pakistani Rangers partake in a game of theatrical contempt. Clearly, it's a popular show.
So where are we?
We are right next to Pakistan.
India and Pakistan were once one country, ripped apart in one of the hastiest, ill-considered partitions imaginable.
Beyond there, no more fence?
No more fences.
So it's, once you get past there,
Yeah.
you can go straight into Pakistan if you
yes,
want.
Yeah.
So
See,
they're-
the
they're-
problem is, the thing is, India is trying to stop people from coming in. The infiltrators, drug dealers and terrorists.
Uday is working on a documentary about the India-Pakistan border.
Right.
No one wants to go into Pakistan.
No one wants to go into Pakistan.
No one wants to, in their right mind, wants to go into Pakistan.
Well, really? That's a fairly decisive statement. So they put up the fence, but the fence is on the Indian side.
Yeah, it's 150 meters from the border.
Right. So beyond that fence, still Indian farmland.
Yes,
So people who live over here can farm over there.
can farm over there.
The Punjab is a fertile region in an otherwise very dry country. This is India's breadbasket. With over 1 billion people currently residing in India, every inch of fertile Punjabi soil has great value.
These are people who owned land over there.
Yes,
Then they put the fence.
yes,
Suddenly your life became difficult.
exactly. They are restricted by many things. They can only grow some kind of crops, and they can't farm more than 8 hours in a day.
How long does it take to get back and forth?
The border security force mans these gates, so they have times, when they can enter and come out.
much farther can we go before they start to get worried?
Yeah, I think we should just go to that pole.
When India and Pakistan were separated, the attempt was to try to draw a line across religious lines.
Exactly.
Drained by the colossal task of fighting 2 world wars, in 1947, Great Britain decided to end their nearly 200-year rule over India. In an attempt to prevent what the colonials saw as an inevitable civil war between Hindus, Muslims, and Sikhs, the British commissioned Sir Cyril Radcliffe, a lawyer from Wales, to draw up a new border.
He was given 2 months,
2 months to divide.
2 months to divide
Create a new country, basically.
So he took the map and just drew a line. People died because of the displacement. Unofficially, they say it's 2 million people. When Jains fight, the minnows get trampled upon.
In one of the largest exchanges of populations in history, many millions of people fled their homes. Almost immediately, religious violence broke out on a mass scale. This is exactly what the partition had been intended to avoid.
Do people here still have families over there?
Yeah, they do. When the line was drawn, there were villages which were split into half. There are some houses where you enter from India and you exit from Pakistan.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
This part of Punjab and that part of Punjab, they were one state. So the culture, the eating habits, everything was very similar.
Well, that's a popular metaphor for India. Pakistan is twins separated at birth.
They were never twins. It was one country. You can say dismembered.
Right.
If you cut a body in 2, they're not going to become twins.
Right.
So it's sad, You can see them. They're doing the same work as you're doing. They dress the same. They look the same. But that you can't talk to them.
It is an ongoing struggle, an enduring cause of paranoia, visible all across the region. 2 nations with atomic arsenals who have showed, if nothing else, a terrifying willingness to use them. From the horrific 2006 train bombings to the militant attacks in Mumbai, the threat of terrorism along this border is a daily concern. Want something good? Really, really good when in Amritsar? Something local, regional, iconically wonderful? You can't say you've had the Amritsar experience until you've had a little kulcha in your life. Kulcha. This is the iconic dish of Punjab.
Yes, that's the speciality here.
Kulcha, a perfect little flavor bomb of wheat dough pressed against the side of a very, very hot clay oven, slathered with butter, and served with a spicy chole, a chickpea curry, on the side. Did I mention the butter?
How's it? Nice?
Delicious.
Everyone in Amritsar seems to be an expert on kulcha, including this lady, Navroop.
It's a chutney, and this is all radish.
Very, very, very good. Generally speaking, Punjabis are famous for being a warrior class. Taller, bigger.
Yes, we're big.
Still, maybe not fighters so much, but still eaters.
Oh, yeah. Big time, yes. The religion doesn't matter. Food is religion here.
First time in Amritsar.
What are you feeling this place?
Checking off my list of things to do in the Punjab, I gotta score some animal protein. It's time. I've been going all Morrissey for like 2 days now, and frankly, that's enough. I need chicken.
Like we are in the ass end of nowhere here. Where am I?
It's known as Veera chicken. Huh? That's very famous for chicken.
When we're talking must-haves, tandoori chicken is just that.
Add some lemon in this, you will enjoy it.
Oh man, it's delicious. This type of establishment, dhaba?
Dhaba, it's called dhaba. Huh? You know, this is the most successful business here. Anybody, you open a dhaba tomorrow, it will be a success.
But if you're going to do chicken, you better be good.
Yeah, it's a good place for that. Would you like to have something else?
There's like a roti with ground mutton or ground.
That's called naan. That's butter naan.
Keema naan, mutton ball, dough. And the special ingredient, magic hands. And believe me when I tell you, this shit is good. So good that people snap it up the second it comes out of the tandoor oven. Hey, that's mine.
Is it good?
It's sensational. Wow. People do love their food.
Definitely, yeah. I love eating.
The movies and television in this country is fantastic.
Thousands of films are made per year.
I don't even understand what's going on. I mean, everybody dances and sings. I don't get it.
Like to have something else?
Oh, this is good. Oh, yeah. Wow. Oh, yeah. That's good. Thank you. No, nothing. Thank you. It's delicious. So good.
Leaving the fertile plains of the Punjab behind, I'm headed out towards the Himalayas. And getting there, at least the way I'm going, hasn't changed much in the last 100 years. All aboard.
This is gonna be suboptimal seating. Yeah, I don't think this reclines. Thank God they have relaxed attitudes towards prescription drugs. Before you enter the gateway to the Himalayas, you better self-medicate. Meanwhile, I've been like 24 hours without a bite of food. I arrive, it's like, oh, well, there's snacks on the way. Great, get a bag of peanuts.
Truth be told, I'm an angry, bitter man when I board. I'm guessing there ain't a Shoney's or a P.F. Chang on the way.
Kind of cute, little train. It's so little. It's like the Universal Tours. I'm going to King Kong ride.
While my stomach growls, I become the kind of traveler I warn against. Gripey, self-absorbed, immune to my surroundings. But as my brightly colored little train heads up into the hills from Kalka Station, known as the gateway to the Himalayas, my worldview starts to improve. The unnaturally bright colors of India start to pleasurably saturate my brain. The views from the window of ridiculously deep valleys, 100-year-old bridges. It's, well, breathtaking. My fellow passengers, too, are irresistibly charming. The school kids in their uniforms cheer in unison every time we pass through one of the tunnels. I'd pretty much forgotten about my hunger until the whistle stopped at Burroughs.
We'll have one of those and two of these.
This place is named for a Colonel Burroughs, the British engineer tasked with building the line up to Shimla.
Thank you.
The station and the adjacent tunnel bearing his name are rumored to be haunted.
It's delicious.
Already behind schedule and plagued by cost overruns, Burroughs screwed up. When he realized the two ends of this tunnel didn't meet in the middle, he shot himself. It's the kind of personal accountability I'd like to see more of, frankly. Or is that just me? But all my snarkiness fades as I reflect, and one can't help but reflect on what it took to dig, drag, blast, and tunnel one's way up this route back in the day. Back in the beginning, making the trip to Shimla required a somewhat uncomfortable 3-day trek up the mountain by foot, or horse, or hand-carried palanquin. The stats are impressive. A climb of around 5,000 feet, over 100 tunnels, more than 800 bridges, an engineering feat, a job that, when you consider the time, defies imagining. In the building of this railroad, many died. Many, many died.
When you look at that painting, when you stand out front in the garden and look out at the view, can you picture the way it was?
I've been to many places where it reminded me of what Shimla had been when the British first came and settled there. I have a penchant for such places. It is a kind of a throb that I feel.
Fond memories of British rule? Maybe not what you'd expect to hear. But Kawa Ratanjit Singh, that's Reggie for short, his family was different. Indian royalty with palaces, the 1% of the 1%. So life for Reggie as a young boy was, relative to the millions and millions of others his age, enchanted. Shimla is from a time before partition, when nearly the entire ruling class of British India would move to hill stations in the hotter months. Shimla was once known as the queen of all hill stations. Here, the colonials created England in miniature, complete with Tudor architecture, rose gardens, afternoon tea.
My grandfather, it's very difficult to describe what did he do. Well, quite frankly, he did nothing. But he entertained hugely.
Garden parties, fancy dress balls, elephant hunts. The remnants of British rule can still be seen and felt. This is particularly true of one house, Chapsley.
My family was very fortunate that they were able to buy this house because it was a famous house.
The house was purchased by Reggie's grandfather, the last Maharaja of Kapurthala.
Those Brits really left beautiful buildings.
From a distance, it looks much the same as it must have when the Maharaja slept here.
Check out the tub.
Locked in a constant battle against time and nature, barbed wire does little to keep Shimla's ever-encroaching monkey population at bay. Stripped of their wealth and their kingdoms, the one-time royals all across India have had to either sell their estates or, like Reggie, turn them into hotels and guest houses in order to hold on. Ring a buzzer, and a servant appears.
Man, they bring you hot water bottles at night, put them under the covers. Butlers keep popping in, build a nice fire. Man.
A great facet of my childhood was how my grandfather entertained. His table came to be known as perhaps the most famous in northern India because he was a gourmet connoisseur of food.
Tonight, dinner at Chapsley, an elaborate Anglo-Indian menu from Reggie's childhood.
I'll put on my apron first.
My fellow guests, two of Reggie's friends, Raja Basin, a historian on the subject of Shimla, and Rakash Varlalsud, the barrister.
There's so much history here. I mean, while I take a dim view of colonialization, it's very hard to resist the charms of a house like this.
That's quite understandable, actually. You've got 100 years of very, very intense history funneled into a very small place.
And this house used to house the Secretary of State to the crown.
What am I eating? This is eggs à la Florentine.
Oh, that's good. This was a small town.
A small town with a very, very big government.
Shimla enjoys the unique distinction of having been the summer capital of India, and surprisingly, it was the capital of Burma during the war days.
So here you have this tiny little village up on the hill, connected to the rest of the world by a narrow mountain path, and they rule approximately a fifth of the human race for 8 months every year. In today's context, it would almost seem bizarre.
Mulligatawny soup, classic example of what we think of as Indian food in the West, but not at all. This was originally a soup made by Indian chefs to accommodate British tastes, is that correct?
It was something what you would call halfway between a regular dal, a lentil, which you would eat, and a broth. The glassy chops.
Mutton, glassy chops.
Basically meat cooked in its own fat
and it would have a lot of curry on it. It's a misnomer. This meat is not actually mutton, it is chevron.
Here, back before the rail line, it would be a difficult trip.
Yes.
But once they were up and running, I mean, there were many servants to look after your every need. You had a fireplace, a hearth in every room.
And people on the regular payrolls whose only job was to shoo monkeys off the grounds.
Wow.
You would be carried around in palanquins, little box in which you sat in a curtained box.
This man would go stamping his staff in the ground and the bells would jingle and the common folk would give way. And normally they were not even supposed to look in the direction.
Mm-hmm.
It was bad manners.
Right.
It wasn't easy for the people who built the town. It was India that paid the bill for all this grandeur, for all this pomp, for all this show.
They did it at our expense and with our money.
At the end of the meal, there's coffee, brandy, and cigars in the sitting room, as one does, or once did.
I hope you enjoyed the dinner too.
Oh, very much. It was delicious. Really wonderful. A lot of history in this house.
And one can be forgiven for maybe briefly forgetting what it took to build this lost kingdom. And how much the world has changed around it. The Monkey Temple looks down on Shimla, overrun by its namesakes. Twisting up further into the Himalayas, I find myself at a place known as the Land of the Gods. Nearly every village credited with having its own deity. Getting there, you might well have an opportunity to meet one of those deities. As you tear around narrow, guardrail-free mountain roads, overlooking terrifying drop-offs.
Like, I could do heights, like, you know, I've done the jumping out of planes thing a number of times. But I feel it, you know, like looking over a precipice like that one, I feel it in my knees. Ooh. You know, like if my knees could vomit with terror, they would be. They'd be vomiting with terror right now. They should have little underwear stops on this road, you know, where you could like get a fresh pair. Every couple of miles, it's like, ooh, that was scary.
Overloaded buses, water trucks with worn brake pads, aggressive truck drivers can come wailing around the corner at any time. And they do, about every 2 minutes. Squeeze your cheeks tight and close your eyes.
Oh, the enchantment of India.
The remote locations of these isolated mountain villages has kept old traditions alive. Village fairs serve as an opportunity for families who live very far apart to get together, play games, eat, and partake in religious rites honoring local deities.
Quite a ride getting here.
Yeah. How do you enjoy that road?
White knuckles.
Meet Hashim. He runs motorcycle tours through these parts.
The Himalayas, it's the holy grail of motorcycling. You're traveling almost 1,500 kilometers on a trip. It's so unbelievably beautiful and diverse.
So we got here vegetable curry?
Yogurt-based curry, quite typical in these parts.
Vegetables again? Surprisingly, not a problem.
That's good.
Yeah.
This is one of the few places in the world that I could eat vegetarian every day.
Yeah.
And still be happy. Most of the people in this community, farmers, farming, agricultural.
Yeah.
What are they growing?
They do a lot of corn, potatoes, peas.
And weed. People growing marijuana here.
Yes, loads of it.
Loads of it. As an export product or for personal use? For
everything. Mix of everything. So you think you want to go check out the fair a little bit?
Yeah, let's take a walk through town.
Yeah,
See what's going on.
Predominantly an occasion for all these mountain villages to come together and, socialize because, I mean, people are busy in their farms. They're not going to come and walk down and socialize with people. But this, because it's autumn, everyone is done with all the agriculture.
Right.
Now they're just bedding down for winter. There's a lot of romance in the air.
I've been to Mumbai, Kolkata, Sundarbans, Rajasthan, Kerala. This is a part of India. It's different than any other part. Look, it's fascinating and beautiful. Oh yeah, sweet. Wow, things moving.
Voila, end of the road.
There's Trinidad and Tobago. One country, two very different islands, two very different places. One island is what you expected when you arrived wearing flip-flops and a Hawaiian shirt all greased up with cocoa butter. The other ain't about that at all.
I took a walk through this beautiful world. Felt the cool rain on my shoulder. Found something good in this beautiful world. I felt the rain getting colder. Sha la 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 la, sha la 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 la, sha la 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 la, sha la 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 la.
If I had the choice, I would choose to live back when Calypso brought the news. If I had the choice, I would choose to live right back when Calypso brought the news. No more reporters, no anchormen, no recorder, no pad and pen, no nosy cameras to point and shoot, no red ink to cross out the truth.
Many visitors come to Trinidad for one thing and one thing only, Carnival, which locals say is the biggest party on earth, a pre-Lenten festival of costumes, food, copious drinking, and the kind of dancing you better be good at before trying in public. It's almost 2 months before the party officially starts, but here in Trinidad's capital, Port of Spain, the carnival season has already begun.
I thought it was a pity that you went here during the peak of the carnival season.
I'll tell you something really terrible about myself. Like, I've never been to Mardi Gras, Carnival in Rio, any kind of carnival. Like large numbers of strangers swarming through the streets, dancing in uniforms.
Doesn't do it for you?
No, some of my deepest fears are having to dance or sing in public. Either of these would be terrifying. So this seems like a situation where that might come up, you know?
Queen's Park Savannah will be the epicenter of Carnival. But tonight, it's still Trinidad's street food center. My dinner companion for some fried snapper is LaShawn Prescott, who's here to tell me about 2 essential skills necessary for the proper enjoyment of local nightlife. Turns out I am very good at one and suck epically at the other.
What is liming?
Liming is like our version of hanging out,
right.
You know. You're with friends, you're chilling, that's liming.
Is there alcohol involved? Chances are, if you're liming,
probably.
you're sipping.
I mean, you can't lime without beer.
What about the rum? I haven't had any rum here. How does one drink rum here, and which rum should I be drinking? Does one drink it on the rocks?
One
or
drinks
mixed?
it with Coke.
With Coke?
Yeah, rum and Coke.
But the rum's supposed to be really, really good here.
Yeah.
What do I mess it up with Coke for? Okay, so we've established what liming is. What is whining?
The technical term is the circumduction of the hips. And it's a style of dance. And if you're not used to the culture, you don't understand what it means, you can interpret it the wrong way. When you see it for the first time, you can think it's seductive, you can think it's sexual. But people can whine on each other and not really mean anything. I can whine on you and it doesn't mean that I want to take you home, you know? It's something that's really about freedom of expression of self. And it's something that crosses ages, races, ethnicities, especially during carnival time. You see people from high status and people who are, you know, lower class. They both whine together. You know, the barriers are no longer there. It's all just a mix of all the different ethnicities and stuff.
The faces you see in the streets are African, Indian, Chinese, Middle Eastern in features, and every shade of mix in between. This patchwork of ethnic identities and colors is a direct legacy of Trinidad's colonial past. Located at the southern end of the Caribbean Sea, 7 miles offshore from Venezuela, Trinidad and Tobago have long been important ports of call. Like a lot of islands in the area, everybody's been through here at one point or another. The usual European hunters of fortune. The Spanish came looking for gold. Then the Dutch, French, and British took their turns at the real money of the time, sugar. An economy built on plantation labor and slavery. Finally, the island hit the big money, oil. A pair of seemingly unrelated events had a big impact on the island's musical culture. During World War II, the U.S. Navy built an oil depot to supply overseas strategic needs. And decades earlier, the ruling British had banned drums made from traditional-style animal skins after a series of riots they insisted had been inspired by African drumming. One improvises in such circumstances, and all those oil drums were repurposed. This is Phase 2, one of only 11 large steel bands taking part in the worldwide competition Panorama that happens in a few weeks. Winner gets 150 grand. They've taken home the prize 7 times, in no small part due to this man, Lennox Bugsy Sharp. The rehearsal space is called a panyard, and if you're lucky, somebody nearby is making this: corn soup, split pea broth, dumplings, and of course, corn. Kim Johnson is a local journalist and historian who knows about this stuff. It's far more complex than you think.
Wow. I gotta tell you, that was incredible. I've heard a lot of, little steel drum bands around the Caribbean, but nothing like that. All percussion, right? 100%.
Yes.
How did your interest in this develop?
I grew up here. Later, I became a writer. I discovered there were just hundreds of stories. Because in the early days, up until the 60s, the steel bands were partly like street gangs. They would fight with one another. The West Side Story, right? I think. The steel bands doubled as that. So I just got fascinated by tracking down all of these pioneers and getting their stories and how they got involved.
I'll be 64 years this year. I played music since a little kid.
Yeah, these stories that he grew up with them in one of his backyards. So when he was about 3 years old, he was going out playing with them.
Bugsy composes his pieces by layering different types of drums on top of each other. The engine room, made of unpitched percussion, lays down the groove. Next, a section of 6 bass pans drops a bass line. The guitar and cello pans add harmonies that sound like strumming. And the frontline pans play the melody. The result, a symphonic wall of sound.
I would like someday to marry this with a big orchestra, symphony orchestra. Yeah, Anthony, that's my dream.
It's because of the music Africans survived slavery. Not just physically, survived psychically. It's a question of just improvising instruments.
Holy crap. Okay. This is a challenge. People keep coming up to me in the street. The first thing they say is, have you had doubles yet? Did you get a doubles yet? So, I'm eating doubles, all right?
Doubles are a Caribbean take on the Indian chana bhatura. 2 floppy, tender pieces of soft Indian-style bread loaded with a wet heap of curried chickpeas, pepper sauce, and mango.
Structurally, I have questions here. I don't want seepage. Seepage is never good. If someone uses seepage in a sentence, nothing good is going to happen. I'm going to suck the paper. I don't think there's meat in here. But I still like it. It's really, really good.
A half-century after Trinidad became independent of the British Empire, there are surprisingly few architectural remnants. But the face of the country and its population were forever changed when slavery ended in 1834, and Great Britain found itself in need of cheap, if not free, labor to work the plantations. They found it in East India.
At the abolition of slavery, the plantation owners desperately needed to find labor to fill the void created by the slaves who turned their backs on the plantation for obvious reasons. And they looked around, they tried Portuguese, they tried Chinese, they tried many communities until they found out that the Indians were the best suited because they were already planting sugarcane in India successfully.
Between the end of outright slavery and the beginning of World War I, 150,000 indentured servants were brought here from India. Indentured servitude is slavery by another name. The people brought here from India were bought, sold, and treated like property. But we're told that if they completed 5 years of often backbreaking labor, they would be set free. Noon on a Monday, ordinarily a work day, but today the Singh family is having a boys' river wine. Chand, the patriarch, is a retired diplomat. His son, Keshav, is a music producer. Uncle Charlie is in charge of the cooking.
How far back did the family go?
This family has gone back to 1845.
1845. Those were hard times. Life was not good for the family in India.
There was poverty, there was wars and all sorts of things. And yes, they came into real hard times here because the indentured immigrant from India replaced the liberated slaves, and the conditions were not very different.
Difficult times, but it was a means to social mobility and away from their situation in India.
We are products, descendants of that generation.
Start with 1 whole duck, hack into pieces, rub with lime juice, season with hot peppers, garlic, and the tropical herb shadow beni. Add generous helpings of masala and curry powder. Marinate for a bit, then sear in oil, then simmer in coconut milk until tender.
Man, that's good. That's really good. We better kill some more ducks, because that is...
When we have it like this, when we're drinking, before the actual meal, it's like an appetizer, but we call it cutters because it cuts the alcohol.
Right, I'm sobering up as we speak. So, look, you're all Trinidadian.
Yeah.
Trinidad first, Indian second.
Yeah. Yes, I mean, when the Indians came, 160-something years ago, there was a disconnect with the motherland.
Most of these Indians were promised that they were going for a short tenure to make a lot of money and then return home.
They gave return passage or land.
So when the first Indians took the option to go back, couldn't find their families.
Right.
And those who found their families were rejected because they said, you guys abandoned us for 5 years.
Wow.
You may as well take that 5 acres of land and stay there. So there's no closure to descendants like us who have not found any connection between our families in India.
Soft paratha dough is cooked on a massive tawa and slathered with ghee. But here, just as it's reaching peak flakiness, it gets a beating.
Here they call it bust-up shot, which means burst-up shirt.
Burst-up shirt.
Because they make a huge paratha and then they whack it with 2 sticks.
Oh, okay. I thought they were talking about what's going to happen on my shirt. What about skin color? You look at Jamaica, you look at Haiti. I don't get what they say, but what they do is it's still a powerful determinant of where your status is in the power structure.
Yeah.
Does that exist here?
It's not something that has consumed our imagination. Being Trinidadian is not necessarily color tone oriented, but it's more in, I think what people really revel and enjoy is the common experiences. The food is the glue that binds a society together.
In spite of the problem that we have here, we are still one of the most harmonious, multi-ethnic societies in the world. And the multi-ethnicity of Trinidad, the multi-religious tolerance, are examples for the role to follow. We are a small island, and if you don't learn to live together, you have to live in the sea. We have to.
Right.
Why? Trinidad is nice. Trinidad is a paradise. Hey. Trinidad is nice. Trinidad is a paradise. Now,
My theory was always the whole world was going to look like Trinidad in 100 years. Anyway.
Great world.
Well, I think so. Cheers to that.
Cheers.
Respect. Trinidad is nice. Trinidad is a paradise. Why? Trinidad is nice. Trinidad is a paradise.
Thank you.
It started in 1898, more than 100 years ago. Most of the Christians were being persecuted by the Turks. So there was an exodus of Christians leaving Syria. They boarded the ships from Beirut, and as long as it was heading west, they thought they were going to America. Many of our parents landed in Trinidad, and that's when we started. That's the first generation.
Just outside of Port of Spain, Bayshore is one of the priciest neighborhoods in the country. I'm here as a guest of the Sabga Abouds, a successful family of Lebanese Syrians.
Look, isn't this amazing?
Beirut.
Yes, like no arak.
I do indeed.
Would you like arak?
A little ice and some water would be perfect.
You're perfect. My drink of choice is Grey Goose and coconut water.
The family's story is not an uncommon one. The first members came here during the collapse of the Ottoman Empire, arriving penniless. They worked their way up as textile merchants and branched out to run businesses that sell everything from medical equipment to real estate.
And how large is the community now in Trinidad?
A little under 5,000.
That's still a fairly small percentage of the...
Extremely small. Actually, we are the smallest ethnic group in Trinidad.
But the most powerful, almost the most powerful. Smallest but most powerful, huh?
That's not bragging. Syrian Lebanese merchant class are generally seen as the elite.
Actually, I'm very big in the food business here. I have 120 restaurants. Call me the Starbucks of the Caribbean.
I can't tell you how happy I am about this meal. I love the food.
This is raw kibbe.
Best raw kibbe you'll ever eat in your life.
Yeah. This is the fried version, which is stuffed with the nice stuffing. And then we have the typical hummus. This is muhamra, which is made from chili paste and ground nuts, the best muhamra in Trinidad. Then we have falafel patties. We have grilled wings with garlic, which is every Arab loves. Fish in tahini sauce. You ever had that?
Yeah, beautiful.
I'm gonna pour some olive oil over our lovely things, because olive oil is a must.
I mean, and how closely do people stay in contact with family or relatives back in Lebanon or Syria? If at all.
Not very much.
We are Trinidadians too. As much as we are Lebanese and Syrian, we are Trinidadians. Trinidad has been good to us, and we know it.
But life is good here in Trinidad. Life is very good. But there is a measure of concern in the fact that at one time we used to have a huge middle class, which was a sort of a security in terms of any possible conflict between the haves and the have-not. But now that's eroding, and they're getting poorer. So they're starting to get angry.
What do you think the biggest danger is right now?
Civil commotion.
Civil commotion.
Yeah. We have a crime problem related to gangs, gang warfare.
Gang warfare.
It ain't all good for everybody here by a long shot. Trinidad, with a population of only 1.3 million people, had 460 murders last year, giving Port of Spain a per capita murder rate higher than Detroit, Oakland, or Chicago. Mark Besant covers the subjects of drug and gang-related violence as an investigative journalist.
People want you dead.
You could say that.
Who wants you dead, do you think?
Well, 2 years ago, I did a piece about the state prosecutor, Dana Sital, who was shot dead.
When State Prosecutor Dana Sital left the Mapao car park just before midnight on May 3rd, she had no inclination it would be her last moments alive.
When Mark began to look into the murder of the prosecutor, an informant told him there was a $20,000 contract on his life.
They had people following me over a period of time, some law enforcement officers and so on. So my company put me on a plane. I stayed under an assumed name for about 3 months in a location outside of Trinidad.
Generally speaking, when people like that want you dead, they get you. Why are you back?
I guess, to quote from a great U.S. journalist, Walter Cronkite, it's not what we want people to know, it's what they need to know. We need to have people held accountable for certain things. With drug trafficking being one of the biggest businesses in the world, Trinidad continues to be a major transshipment point for drug dealers to get that product out to North America and to Europe. So you find now the explosion of violence that we have is for those that are involved locally with the drug trafficking, this fight for territory.
An estimated $3.5 billion worth of narcotics move through the Caribbean each year. Trinidad's porous borders, busy port, proximity to Venezuela, and the inevitable corruption that comes with numbers and threats like that make it, unfortunately, an ideal transshipment point.
How bad is high-level corruption alleged to be?
Fairly deep. I think that the complicity comes across the law enforcement agencies, customs, police officers, even at higher levels.
And with corruption, poverty, hopelessness, add some radical ideology to that, and Trinidad has proved relatively fertile ground for the recruitment of ISIS fighters and terrorists.
It's quite alarming for Trinidadian nationals being one of the highest in the region going to Syria. And it's over 100 on a list, an FBI list. They feel that it's the calling from ISIS that they need to go.
So what's the future look like? What do you think? How's it gonna go?
Wow, that's a loaded question. There are really good people here in Trinidad. There are really, really good people that can make a difference on all fronts. If we go down the path that we're going down, they will be all bad.
In 1990, the radical Islamic group Jamaat al-Muslimin laid siege to Trinidad's parliament, claiming they were responding to rising inequality, poverty, and religious discrimination. What ensued was a violent and terrifying disaster. 26 people were killed in skirmishes, and the hostage takers, would-be revolutionaries, gave up in exchange for clemency after 6 days. Little changed. Mohammed Muakil's father took part in the attempted coup. He grew up, in fact, in the Jamaat al-Muslimin compound. But he's chosen to take a different path: music. He's the lead singer of Freetown Collective, a band named after a Port of Spain neighborhood that was once a settlement for freed slaves.
They say we can't write no love songs, live fast and we die young. They say we doomed to fail, yeah. They say we doomed to fail. They say we prone to violence and a sinking silence. They don't know what they say. No, 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 no.
Much like a lot of reggae, his music calls out the social ills that have been disproportionately visited on the Afro-Caribbean population.
I see bodies lying in the streets, nations collapse in the midday. Lord, I need to cool my head, my head. They're calling it a brave new world, freedom for brave new boys and girls. What good is freedom if you're dead?
You look around my city right now and a lot of young people are choosing death over life because the life that they look at doesn't feel like it's substantiated by anything.
In the Freetown neighborhood now called Belmont, he lives with his 81-year-old granny, Neela Natu.
The thing is that recently we've had a lot of people who I've known, who I grew up with, who've gone to fight in Syria, who've left here. I mean, they will tell you that the official count is 140. I would say it's more.
You'd say it's more?
I'd say it's more.
And why do you think people would go?
I'd have to go back into my childhood to explain that to you. The coup that happened here happened when I was 6 years old. And you had all these young people in there who had this idea, you know, we're going to build this thing. There's this community that's going to stand up against what's going on in Trinidad, that's going to stand up against the drugs and stand up against poverty and stand up against crime, and nothing happened.
In none of these causes, religious fundamentalism or fervor has not come up. Every issue you've mentioned so far has been perceived inadequacy of social justice.
Right, yeah.
So these kids going off to Syria, They have any idea what they're doing? Or are they just pissed off?
No, they do not. People say that poverty breeds crime. I don't think poverty breeds crime in a sense. I think exclusion breeds crime. Because if I truly care for you, if I feel like you are a part of the thing that I exist in, then I won't hurt you. I come in your house and steal some food. But when you see that kind of violence being enacted, you have to ask yourself, it's not just somebody saying, I need this tablecloth, I'm gonna take this. No, I want this tablecloth, and you've had this tablecloth for too long, so you know what? I'm gonna take this out on you, this is gonna happen, that's gonna happen. And that's what we're seeing now. I mean, how long can people put up with something before they decide this is enough? You know what I mean?
Would you say that carnival and that carnival attitude, the liming culture, might as well be a brilliant strategy to narcotize the people into being satisfied with the status quo?
Everything here is somehow designed to pacify it without us really realizing. So our music, which is supposed to give us adrenaline, as well as sleeping pills sometimes, it's just doling out sleeping pills. Like, go ahead, enjoy yourself. Enjoy yourself, enjoy yourself. You're a Trini. Trini means fun-loving and happy and whatever, despite whatever it is.
It's a big and delicious home-cooked meal.
I caught this myself.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Red snapper?
Yeah.
The snapper is seasoned with lime juice, shadow benny, and onion.
What's this dish called? Is there a name for it?
This is called oil down.
Oil down?
Yeah.
For oil down, they season breadfruit and meat with dasheen and green figs, then simmer in coconut milk.
And, well, she uses pork, as you can see, which I know I can't have any, so that's okay.
Now, your grandma, not a Muslim.
No, the Roman Catholic is
Roman Catholic?
Of Roman Catholics.
Old school.
Sacred Heart up on the wall.
I got a kind of a perfect one for you, so you'd have it.
Oh, beautiful, thank you.
Pastel.
This is mostly when the Spaniards were here, introduced this as a Spanish food.
Pastels are the Caribbean cousin to the tamale. Minced beef is wrapped in cornmeal dough, then in banana leaf, then steamed.
She will feed you till you burst, like any grandmother, you know, right? Yeah.
I'd be well looked after.
And that is once a year.
So when do these ordinarily...
Christmas time.
Christmas time. This is very, very delicious.
Thank you very much. And one thing I vex about, why he didn't put ice in his glass?
It's good, it's fine.
So he must say thanks or whatever. You may tell Mohammed it's not good.
So you have that generation. Very proper. Like, very, very proper. And one of the things about Trinidad is
Mohammed, don't bad talk me.
I'm not bad talking you. I only speak the truth. That generation very much believed in independence and that this nation would be something. And then they told their children, study and come and help this nation, build this nation, and it's gonna be something. And that generation, which was my parents, they did that.
Right.
And then they had kids, you know? And all of a sudden it was like, okay, all these things y'all been saying about building a nation and whatever, how come I'm seeing these people benefiting and I'm not? How come I'm seeing this, I'm seeing that, I'm seeing that? And there were very few answers, you know what I mean?
So who runs this country?
Like everywhere else, that 1%, like everywhere else.
Everybody here is very eager to tell you what a wonderful mix it is. And the food, if you look at it, is this incredibly harmonious stew pot. But I guess life doesn't work as well as food.
No, the only thing we've agreed on in this place is how much salt to put in anything. So that's the only thing we've agreed on.
Man, we on a mission. Our whole world to change. Yeah. Our whole world to change.
Trinidad, it should be pointed out right now before you start packing your Speedo and your cocoa butter, is an industrial island. And like so many places, industrialization is changing the landscape here. But some things persist, remain, echo from all the way back then. When West African slaves would covertly do this. Kalinda.
This martial art, based on our research, is maybe 500-600 years old.
Stick fighting variations occur throughout the Caribbean, but in Trinidad and Tobago, it's like deep in the blood.
this martial art was illegal for many, many years, yes?
Yeah.
I mean, certainly during slavery times, it was illegal.
To this date, I believe there's still laws on our books that ban this stick, and if you're caught with it, you could go to jail.
The laws of slavery times forced this sport underground. Like capoeira, it often had to be disguised as a dance. But this ain't no dance.
The guys with the whip and the guys with the stick were all the guys saying, you have not broken us. We will continue to resist to the ends of time.
Rondell Benjamin and Keegan Taylor studied fighting styles from around the world before coming around to their own homegrown martial art. Now, what's legal?
What's not legal
Let's say what's not legal.
I can't hit to the legs.
You can't? Oh, damn, because that would be the first thing I'd think of. I'm thinking, I gotta get that knee. That knee in particular.
Now, to be honest, in stick fighting, legal and illegal is a concept, but it doesn't stop that kind of stuff from happening.
Right. But I mean, let's face it, this is a pretty heavy object.
Yeah.
I get a good swing, a tee off, and I get a clean shot on the head. This is what the New York Police Department would call a deadly weapon.
Yes, sir.
If I'm fighting, if I'm really fighting, I'm a monster. I gotta lick you down, I gotta kill you, I gotta dig you up, I gotta bury you, I gotta murder you, I gotta take you out. The demon in me is gonna come out, but I call that demon to walk in.
King David is one of the old school street fighters who has kept this form from fading over the years. As in Brazil and the Deep South, African slaves were given little to work with when it came time for the meal. More often than not, if they wanted meat, they had to make do with what the slave masters did not want. A tongue here, cow foot there. Here, as elsewhere, they figured out how to make something delicious and tender from whatever there was. Like souse, pig foot is pickled in shadow beni, onions and hot peppers, and then topped off with cucumbers. This is a martial art. You either win or you lose.
Correct.
How do you win? What decides winner?
Who draws blood first win. All it requires is the end result. All you have to do is cut the guy.
Blood is blood.
What's the worst injury you've ever had in a fight?
This finger.
What's the worst injury you've seen in a fight?
I see a man lost the eye. And also I saw a man die. You have to be a real warrior, born fighter, to stand up there and face that demon, which walking like a man.
Miles east of Trinidad, its sister island, Tobago. A whole different vibe around here. More like what you'd hope for when you waddle away from the buffet on the SS Norwalk cruise ship. Lazy beach days, boat drinks, villas, all set to a calypso beat. In the 1800s, slaves would sing the news and gossip of the day in a Creole patois to an African beat. Later, musicians added European-style melodies, and calypso was born. The longtime reigning queen of this music, an absolute pioneer of the form, is Calypso Rose.
Say that I reign too long, forgetting that the Constitution is strong. Instead of respecting the long reign, they making threat to take down the man. I've been breaking down walls ever since I was told they would stand up tall and strong like a wrecking drum. I would knock them down.
She was the first woman to win the Calypso King title, which tells you what the environment was like at the time for a female artist.
Everywhere I reign supreme, the one and only Calypso queen. No man alive or dead could come and take me from off my head.
Rose grew up in a large and strict Baptist family in Tobago until she was 9 years old and was sent to live with her aunt in Trinidad. So she grew up with a foot in each island.
What's the difference between growing up in Trinidad and growing up in Tobago?
It's much different. Tobagonians are 99.5% African. They are African slave descendants. The culture is more African. And this here is the cornmeal cuckoo. They call it fufu in Africa. When Tobago, they say cuckoo.
And this is callaloo.
And this is the callaloo made from the leaves of dasheen, you know? But the great thing is the crab. Everybody come to Tobago and must eat crab and dumpling. The dry coconut, they grated the coconut, and the juice of that coconut, they put it in the pot with the little ingredients like tomato, onion, chive, and your curry.
Crunch it up.
Good teeth. If you have false teeth, be careful.
All right, so far so good. Here's what really fascinates me is you started singing calypso music and writing songs.
Of course.
At a time when it was only men. Your
My
father was not
was against it.
against it.
My father was spiritual Baptist minister. My father said calypso belongs to the devil.
Calypso belongs to the devil, but it also belonged to men. And here you are at age 15,
age 13,
doing
doing
what was considered a completely revolutionary thing. What was it about you that made you strong enough and different enough and determined enough to choose to do such a difficult and unusual thing when everybody was against it?
My fans, because some people at home, they're sad, they're going through so much financially, economically, they're being abused by the spouse, and they come out to have a good time. And when they come out, I bring joy to their heart.
So is making beautiful things enough?
Yes, making beautiful things enough. But when you start thinking consciously and beautiful things, like all the seas rolling there, how the sea is moving, moving, moving. Making beautiful things is enough.
It is enough.
No island in the sun is paradise on Earth, however it might look from the concrete blocks, glass cubicles, or wood boxes we may live in. And all the dancing and music and great food in the world can never hold together by itself what would keep us apart. What might look like a utopian stew of ethnicities and cultures living together under gently swaying palms is, of course, a far more complicated matter. But Trinidad has done better than most, and in proud and unique style. So confused. It wasn't supposed to be like this. Of all the places, of all the countries, all the years of traveling, it's here in Iran that I'm greeted most warmly by total strangers.
Hello.
The other stuff, it's there. The Iran we've read about, heard about, seen in the news. But this I wasn't prepared for.
I took a walk through this beautiful world. Felt the cool rain on my shoulder. Found something good in this beautiful world. I felt the rain getting colder. Sha la 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 la, sha la 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 la, sha la 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 la, sha la 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 la.
Thank you. Merci. So, good to be here finally. It's taken some time. Like a lot of time. Like 40 years I've been trying. Finally.
Tehran, city of nearly 8 million people, capital of Iran.
This neighborhood feels kind of like there are neighborhoods of Rome. This feels a lot like it.
After all this time, I finally had my chance to see a country I'd heard so much about.
The weather's nice too. I don't know what I was expecting, but it's nice.
A big blank spot on nearly every traveler's resume.
Merci. Delicious. Thank you.
Once upon a time, there was an ancient kingdom where they found a lot of magical black stuff under the ground. But 2 other kingdoms had the key to the magical black stuff. And when they wouldn't share, the people of the ancient kingdom got mad. They voted, and their leader said the magical black stuff is ours to keep. But the other kingdoms were afraid of losing all of the magical black stuff, so they gave money to some bad men to get rid of the leader. They put back in power another leader, and they gave him money too. To some, he was a good king, but to others, he could be very cruel. After many years, the people of the kingdom got mad, this time even madder. So they scared the king away forever. And then things started to get really messed up.
Okay, that's a simplistic and incomplete way to sum up the last 100-odd years of Iranian history. But the point is, there were a lot of issues and differing agendas leading up to the explosion of rage known as the Iranian hostage crisis. Look, we know what Iran the government does. George W. Bush famously called them part of the axis of evil. Their proxies in Iraq have done American soldiers real harm. There is no doubt of this. But I hope I could be forgiven for finding these undeniable truths hard to reconcile with how we're treated on the streets everywhere we go. So forget about the politics if you can for a moment. How about the food? The food here is amazing. Cello kebab, as close as you get to a national dish, and the king of kebabs. Ground lamb with spices, a good place to start.
So what do you guys do for a living?
I export nuts I'm a curator of contemporary art,
which is an exploding scene here.
Iranian country has 3 different cultures: Western culture, Iranian, and Islamic culture.
It's really progressive. It has changed a lot during last decades.
Yeah.
So this is the actual menu.
Right.
I would recommend you to try this one, and this one, and this one.
Okay.
Why not?
Cello kebab wouldn't be complete without Persian rice. Fluffy, long-grained, and perfectly seasoned with saffron, the rice in this country is like nothing you've ever had.
So Tony, first you should take the butter and put it on your rice. Bon appetit.
Bon appetit. Good.
It's very good, yeah.
It was a hopeful time when I arrived in Iran. A window had opened. There had been a slight loosening of restrictions since the election of President Hassan Rouhani. And there was optimism for a deal that could lead to an easing of crippling economic sanctions imposed because of Iran's continued nuclear program. Trade restrictions that have been very, very difficult for everyone. But there's a push happening between opposing factions in the government. On one hand, Iranians are the descendants of ancient Persia, an empire of poetry, flowers, the highly influential culture that goes back thousands of years. But the ruling clerical and military class are at best ambivalent, at worst actively hostile to much of that tradition. Severe religious-based restrictions of speech, dress, behavior were ushered in by the rise of the Ayatollah during the 1979 Islamic Revolution.
یکی میگه دیره یکی دیگه خسته فاصله ها دوره راه همه بسته
So, how does one have fun in Iran these days?
دیگه پول زن مثل رنگین کمون
This is a line that is constantly being tested. Alcohol is, of course, forbidden. You can get away with listening to rock or rap, sort of, sometimes. But you cannot yourself rock or be seen to visibly rock.
یه دوست تازه است زندگیم با دوستم خیلی ساز
Not everyone in Iran is delighted with what their country has become since the revolution. But even insinuating discontent can have consequences. Protesters, dissidents, journalists have been simply disappeared into the maw of the national security system.
What? It's some military place. Don't shoot, please.
Oh, don't shoot.
Yep. Let us cross the...
We are in the northernmost spit of land in Tehran. Up here in Darband, the road stops and it gets really steep. Place for Iranians to escape the heat, escape the pollution, and have a kebab and a shisha, and just kind of unwind. As print journalists, our job's difficult, but it's also kind of easy because there's so much
to write about. You know, the difficult part is convincing people on the other side of the world that what we're telling you we're seeing in front of our eyes is actually there. When you walk down the street, you see a different side of things. People are proud, the culture is vibrant, people have a lot to say.
Jason Rezaian is the Washington Post correspondent for Iran. Yeganeh, his wife, and a fellow journalist, works for the UAE-based newspaper, The National. Jason is Iranian-American. Yeganeh is a full Iranian citizen. This is their city, Tehran.
The official attitude towards fun in general seems to be an ever-shifting. How is fun even a good idea?
A lot of push and pull, a lot of give and take. When I first started coming here, you wouldn't hear pop music in a restaurant or,
It's
or
everywhere
now it's
now.
everywhere.
We have police, they arrest girls or women for having bad hijab or not being covered enough. But it's not that we live with the police in our head, you know?
You know, one of the first things that people will say when you say, well, I'm going to Iran, oh yeah, but don't they make women do
Yeah.
this, and this?
Yeah.
Actually, not so much. Not as much as our
Friends.
friends. Compare and contrast, if women aren't allowed to drive in Saudi Arabia.
That's right. Or vote.
Or vote. You can drive, you can vote.
Yeah, of
Can
course.
you own a business?
Of course. My sister is an accountant. She has her own company. Girls are allowed to do almost everything, except we want to go and watch football, which is like
Can't go watch football.
We cannot.
Women's issues are often at the spear point of change or possible change here. On one hand, prevailing conservative attitudes demand certain things. On the other hand, Iranian women are famously assertive, opinionated. It's a striking difference from almost everywhere else in the region.
So why are we so friendly with the Saudis again?
It's a great question. It's a really good question.
I'm happy that you asked that question.
Do you like it? You happy here?
Look, I'm at a point now after 5 years where I miss certain things about home. I miss my buddies. I miss burritos. I miss having certain beverages with my buddies and burritos in certain types of establishments. But I love it. I love it, and I hate it, you know? But it's home. It's become home.
Are you optimistic about the future?
Yeah, especially if this nuclear deal finally happens. Yeah. Very much, actually.
Despite the hopeful nature of our conversation, 6 weeks after the filming of this episode, Jason and Yeganeh were mysteriously arrested and detained by the police. Sadly, in Iran, this sort of thing is not an isolated incident. What is okay to film in Iran and what is not? What's okay for the friendly, to us at least, Ministry of Guidance might not be okay at all for the Basij, essentially roving young religious militias. Despite all permits and paperwork being in order, we're detained for several hours. This sort of harassment is a daily part of life for Iranians.
Please turn it off right now.
Well, I'm so glad to be here. Thank you. Hello, hi.
Sebastian.
Good to meet you. So, people have been ridiculously nice to us. Aren't you guys supposed to be the axis of evil?
You're absolutely right. We are demonized by the media outside. You show black and white. People are demonstrating and killing and bombing and this and that, and Syria and this and that. But you never talk about the real people who are actually living peacefully inside the country, you know, because we eventually in the future of the world, we and Americans have a very special place in this Middle East. You cannot play a game without considering Iran as a friend.
One of Farouk's many passions is ancient Persia, culinary history in particular, and he's writing a book on the subject.
How do you pronounce the specialty here? Dizi?
What they serve is called dizi, which actually is the name of the pot.
That's right. It's like an earthenware.
Earthenware. Yeah.
Right.
This is one of the early dishes of humankind. It goes back to Mesopotamia 6,000 years ago.
Potato, chickpeas, water, lamb, cooked together.
Add a little fat, mash it up with potatoes and chickpeas.
That's good. What do Iranians want to eat today? It's a home cooking culture. I mean,
Yes, we didn't have the culture of eating out. This is a culture of secret foods in the house. Things which are unheard of. It's not in the book.
That's
Secrets.
really interesting.
A lot of secrets.
Have you ever tried traditional Iranian food?
it's difficult because everybody says the great food of Iran is cooked in people's homes.
Yes.
This is a land of secret recipes, passed down within families like treasured possessions.
Mr. Tony, please.
Beautiful spread of food.
She's my wife, and I'm a really lucky man. She's very good cook.
Bejan, like so many other Iranians I've met, has been kind enough to invite me to his home.
This is milk soup. Milk and chicken soup.
It's really good.
My mom said that Iranian people loves guests and they will never get tired if the guest likes their food. This call it fesenjan.
A stew of fried chicken, onion, ground walnuts, pomegranate, and tomato paste.
And there's fruit, there's some kind of fruit?
Yes, there is the dry apricot inside this as well.
Delicious. So good.
Needed around 24 hours time.
These are very sophisticated, very time-consuming dishes to prepare. Always from scratch, and always in excess of what you could possibly need. You tend to kill your guests with kindness around here.
Tila pila. That dish is from the south of Iran.
From the Persian Gulf?
Persian Gulf.
Yes. And this one is from north. We
Halwa.
call it mahi halwa.
Maybe if I could try some,
This one?
yes, thank you.
Of course. And that one is qeimeh. We made it with beans, meat.
So good. Fantastic food.
Man and wife, both of them working, you know.
So
They-
it's hard to do something like
Yes.
this. That's what I've been waiting. That's the crispy rice at the bottom, right there. The
Yeah.
what's it called? Tadek. Is that?
Tadik.
Tadik.
Exactly.
Oh, lovely. Merci.
My mom and my mother-in-law, they think if they have a guest, they have to at least 2 or 3 kind of foods.
Right.
And if they make just one, they think that it is not very polite for the guest. But nowadays, for example, for my generation, when I have a guest, I will just make one food, one appetizer, and one dessert.
You know why?
And
You know why?
because it's much easier. Yes.
Times have changed. Pre-1979 Tehran was party central. But with Iran's 1979 revolution, 2,500 years of monarchy was over. The supreme leader, Ayatollah Khomeini's word, became, more or less, law. Today, hundreds of thousands of Iranians are bussed to his enormous shrine from all over the country. A national holiday, Khomeini died on this day in 1989. His funeral attended by over 10 million Iranians.
Down with ignorance! Viva wisdom!
All of Iranian need in American and all of the world for friendship. Thanks.
You don't want to miss the bus.
South of Tehran, the landscape opens up. Nearly 300 miles of Iranian highway stretching to the city of Esfahan. Esfahan is Iran's third largest city. Half the world, as the saying went back when this was the capital of Persia and beyond. The city is renowned for its architecture, the grandest bridges and mosques dating back to the Middle Ages.
Where are you from?
USA? From America? Where are you from? From Esfahan? Or from Tehran?
Tehran.
Well, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Yes, hello.
Welcome to Iran.
Thank you.
Welcome to Islam.
Thank you so much. It's very beautiful. I'm guessing from the decor, this is a former wrestler's hangout?
Tucked deep in the labyrinth of Esfahan's bazaar, the smell of something very, very good. This shop has been here doing the same thing for 100 years. And based on the line, it must be doing it right.
I've had biryani in India. I've had it in Uzbekistan. But there's no question who invented biryani.
No. No way.
Biryani. Maybe you know the word, though this doesn't look like any biryani I've ever had. Minced lamb shoulder, onion, turmeric, cinnamon, mint, and of course, saffron, more valuable than gold by weight.
This is delicious.
Really good.
Isfahan today, one of the most visited areas by tourists.
Yeah, everybody, you know, if you come to Iran and you don't visit Esfahan, you are wasting your time.
The Royal Mosque sits astride Imam Square, the second largest square in the world behind Tiananmen in China. At dusk, families come to the square to cool off, picnic, have, yes, it looks like even a little bit of fun. morning prayer in Esfahan.
میرم تا درگاه خدای مهربون میرم میگم عاشقم خدایا میگن در جان ما این عشق سوزان را رها کن از رنج و غم خدایا.
Across town, the Jajouka Bridge, where men gather spontaneously to sing.
دارم دلی پر آرزو بیا بیا که دل شکسته ام رو دشت غم نشسته ام یه دل میگه برم.
Is this okay? This impromptu giving oneself over to the creative urge to stand and sing out to no one in particular? Maybe, but not okay, apparently, to film.
We gotta go. Yep, we gotta go.
The road back to Tehran. Along the way, reminders of just how far back this culture goes. The ruins of ancient caravanserais, highway rest stops from when armies, merchants, traders, traveling by camel, by foot, all passed along these same routes. This, right here, a stop on what was once the Silk Road, extending all the way to China. In this part of the world, whatever your background, bread is a vital, essential, fundamental, and deeply respected staple. And mornings at Tehran, countless bakeries like this one turn out as much as they can.
Oh man, it smells good in here.
We have to stay in line.
No problem.
Standing on line is a daily part of life for many Iranians.
They bake these things on small stones. It gives it that texture.
This is why it's called sangak. Sang means stone, pebble.
In the years since the 1979 revolution, Iranians have weathered wars, food shortages, and crippling trade sanctions that have caused the economy to sputter.
So I'm gonna make you a small table.
All right. Babak is kind enough to take me for breakfast.
This is called halim.
Awesome. And it's made from bulgur wheat?
Yes. And you know what is inside except wheat? It is meat. It is turkey. This is a mixture of sugar and cinnamon.
Oh, that's good.
You like?
Yeah. And this bread is amazing. So you were how old when the war with Iraq started?
I was exactly 7.
Iraq attacked, and it was a surprise attack.
Iran's 8-year-long war with Saddam Hussein's Iraq is deeply, deeply felt. Hundreds of thousands of Iranians, many of them children, died fighting in that conflict.
Were you afraid?
We were afraid. My brother was in the France for 3 years out of 8. And it was not only my brother, many young people like him. 8 years of war, you know, with a country that is supported by many big powers.
And it is worth mentioning, whatever you think, wherever we are now, that Saddam, supported by the US government and with our full knowledge, used sarin and mustard gas on hundreds of thousands of Iranians. Less known in America, known and felt by everyone in Iran.
And it was a mistake of the United States at that time. They made a bad memory for Iranians.
But it's still, people are indeed really, really nice here. I mean,
Because people here don't hate Americans. You helped a coup, and then a revolution, everything, and then we captured your embassy, and okay, it's finished. We didn't kill each other. We didn't have a real fight. So it can be some political misunderstanding, which is resolved, which will be resolved, maybe, I hope.
Inshallah.
Inshallah.
So far, Iran does not look, does not feel the way I'd expected. Neither east nor west, but always somewhere in the middle.
Well, it looks spectacular.
You can't have this in a restaurant. It's time-consuming, it's very expensive, so you have to, Persian cuisine has to be experienced in somebody's home.
Oh, thank you.
So this one here is called bozgorme.
It's slow-cooked lamb in yogurt, is that right?
In yogurt and saffron and egg yolks.
Nazila, prominent art gallery owner, insisted I come over for lunch with her friends and family.
And here we have the sour cherry rice, little meatballs and chicken.
Sour cherries. More than any other nation, I think we love sour.
Yeah.
Rahim, the cook, has been with the family for generations. Rice mixed with yogurt and saffron, baked into a crispy dome. Don't think of rice as a side dish around here. It can be the main event.
Okay, very, very good. You put far more on the table than anyone could conceivably eat. Is that?
Yeah. If you don't like your guest, you don't put anything.
And here we have kufte, which is a large, very big meatball.
Kufte Tabrizi, ground beef, onion, and cooked rice. Walnuts, dried apricots, boiled egg, and barberries.
Anyways, we are a very interesting nation.
Indeed, and very, very confusing.
Extremely confusing, yes,
For me,
yes.
the contradictions are just enormous.
Iranians, we take you to our house and we take you to our hearts and all of that. And in that way, we are extreme. You know, we are extremists in so many ways.
So good. Okay. You see this tortured relationship between America and Iran for many years. How do you think most Americans will react when they see this?
Start coming.
It is very important for us as Iranians to get through, to make sure that we are seen as humans here, not the so-called enemy or the darkness of Iran. You know, like you go to anybody's house in Iran, and I'm sure they will welcome you.
The excess of evil, we're not the excess of evil. No, just normal evil, like everybody else.
10 years ago, Iran was, people, they had hope for future, young people. They wanted to travel, they had a little bit of money, but because of sanction, this sanction really squeezed everybody. 8 years, no foreign investment here, and so it was a very difficult time. I mean, the population is really young, 70% are under 35. And the thing is, they deserve much more than what they have now. They want to have good job, they want to, have families, but it's not possible now for them.
I hope we can have more faith in the ordinary Americans, because every little change in the policy of the Western country, it really, really affects our lives here.
The Malad Tower, Iran's tallest building and a symbol of national pride. It rises 1,000 feet in the air and looks out at all Tehran and beyond. We were out on the observation deck, taking it all in, trying to make some sense of it all. Our time in Iran was coming to an end, and it was impossible to say, was a window opening Or was it only a moment in time before it shut again? You learn pretty quickly that in Iran, there is plenty of gray area, an undefined territory. Where is the line? It seems to change with barely a moment's notice.
Okay, here it comes.
Now, it's dangerous.
This is the first time that we have experienced such thing.
Stay away from the glass.
Please find this way. Please follow me. This way.
Okay.
Please stop filming.
Last day in Iran. Night falls, and the kids, like kids anywhere, get in their rides and head for somewhere they can hang out.
Amazing
American
classics here. Where do you get them?
Old people's, yeah.
Old guys, right. And then fix them up?
Yeah.
Mustang?
Camaro, yeah.
Firebird?
Pontiac.
That's a perfect LA car right there. Is this a car club or is this just people just come?
We hang out this way with our friends.
Awesome, all right. Well, I called out for a little delivery.
One last thing everyone's been telling me I have to try. Iranian takeout pizza.
It comes with ketchup.
What do you think about Iranian pizza?
Not bad.
Not bad.
We don't put ketchup on pizza, though.
I love ketchup.
Beer. I spent my youth pretty much doing this, hanging in a parking lot. Let's assume the worst. Let's assume that you cannot see any way to reconcile what you think of Iran with your own personal beliefs, that you just generally don't approve.
Yeah.
I think those are exactly the sort of places you should go.
Totally.
See who we're talking about and where we're talking about here. And
I think it's almost un-American not to go to those places, you know?
I don't know that I can put it in any kind of perspective. I feel, deeply conflicted, deeply confusing, exhilarating, heartbreaking, beautiful place.
Yeah, exactly.
American cars are crazy.
The American cars are crazy and they're fun.
Yeah.
All I can tell you is the Iran I've seen on TV and read about in the papers, it's a much bigger picture. Let's put it this way. It's complicated.
After 10 weeks, Yagane was finally released. But as I read these lines, Jason remains a prisoner. His future, the reasons for their arrest, are still unknown.
1, 2, 3.
All right, thank you guys.
Thank you,
We'll
too.
see.
Thank you, too. Thank you, too.
I've always wanted to get as far away as possible from the place that I was born. Far both geographically and spiritually, to leave it behind.
I took a walk through this beautiful world. Felt the cool rain on my shoulder. Found something good in this beautiful world. I felt the rain getting colder. Sha la 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 la, sha la 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 la, sha la 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 la, sha la 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 la.
Tangier, it's Morocco. But from 1923 through 1956, it was loosely governed by the major powers, an international zone. For years, it seemed, everything was permitted, nothing was forbidden. At the northern tip of Africa, a short ferry hop from Spain, Tangier was a magnet for writers, remittance men, spies, and artists. If you were a bad boy of your time, you liked drugs, the kind of sex that was frowned upon at home, and an affordable lifestyle set against an exotic background, Tangier was for you. Matisse, Genet, William Burroughs. Many have come this way, staying a while or hanging around. But no one stayed longer or became more associated with Tangier than the novelist and composer Paul Bowles. In works like The Sheltering Sky, he created a romantic vision of Tangier that persists even today, a dream that has become almost inseparable in the minds of many from reality. I'm here to find that dream city, the place Burroughs referred to as Interzone. Tangier, like I said, was a city of expats. People with pasts, people who simply didn't like where they were and craved somewhere and something else. The Grand Soko is the gateway to the Medina, where you could find the Kasbah, which means fortress, by the way. The port of Tangier is to the east, and right in the middle of it all, the Petit Soko, what Uncle Bill Burroughs called the last stop, the meeting place, the switchboard of Tangier. Reasons for settling in Tangier diverge, but everyone, sooner or later, since the beginning of memory, comes to Cafe Tingis. Jonathan Dawson came to this city over 20 years ago as a journalist, and he never left. He lives a life not too distant from Burroughs' fantasy. Cake and tea at 4 every day, served by his manservant. He may not have a gazelle, but a pet rooster will do. And every day he makes the rounds of the cafes, seeing all the old faces, ending up sooner or later here.
So this is the petit socco?
This is the petit socco, yeah. This socco existed in Phoenician times, it existed in Roman times, it existed in the Portuguese times. The English were here for 22 years. Then the international city until 1956, and now it's completely Moroccan. But this is a very historic square, very historic.
As a writer, I've noticed everybody who comes here to do an article does the same article.
Well, it's so damn boring. They all do pole bowls and the Beat Generation. And there are lots of other stories in Morocco apart from that. But everyone likes the beats, Bill Burroughs and all that stuff, and Tennessee Williams, and they were all here.
Yeah.
But that's a small part of Moroccan history. That's a 15-year period. There's a life before that and a life after that. You're here.
Yeah, it was inevitable. Let's pretend that those guys never came. What is this place?
Well, the reality is, if you can read a Paul Bowles story and you can live it, and the people do come here and try and live it, but they don't stay very long.
Right.
They smoke a bit of dope and they live in a cheap hotel and they go home with bed bugs.
Right.
That's
and
another
a
life.
great story.
And a great story.
But I mean, the attitude here is different than other parts of Morocco. I think they have a higher tolerance and tradition of bad or outrageous behavior.
They have a higher tolerance of mad people, you know. But the Moroccans essentially are very tolerant people. They quite like madness as well. They kind of celebrate that a bit, you know.
How Moroccan is Tangier?
It's a Moroccan city with a European outlook. You know, you can stand up on the boulevard, you can see Spain and Gibraltar. So you see all sorts of people passing through, but it's a very Moroccan city. I'm 62 years old. I didn't know it in the international days, which finished in 1956. But at that time, I think Europeans may have outnumbered Moroccans in the center of this city. It's not the case now. There are very few Europeans actually living here full time.
The notion of living a life apart, of being somewhere else, there are those who like that feeling. I like that feeling. And then there are those who they may live apart, they may live somewhere else, but they're not entirely comfortable. It's the difference annoys them or is a burden.
It is, and it frustrates them. Some people have to leave home to find their home. I'm one of those people, whereas I didn't feel at home in the country I was born in at all. But here, I feel okay. I feel very, very happy here.
There is indeed something special about this place. Burroughs described the native quarter of Tangier as a maze of sunless, twisting streets filled with blind alleys. Its smell was particularly notable to him, including a mix of hashish, seared meat, and sewage. Tangier, before anything else, is essentially a port city, with all the things that traditionally come with port cities. It's situated at the choke point between the Atlantic Ocean and the Mediterranean Sea. The Moroccan coast is a rich fishing ground, and a lot of people make their living from the sea. On shore, they use a method called sen-haul fishing, where weighted nets basically drag fish across the bottom of the sea. Some of that fish, the good stuff anyway, ends up here. Le Saveur de Poisson, or Restaurant Populaire, or Popeyes. The place has got a lot of names, but locals and expats alike who've been coming here for years say it's got some of the best tagine in town. Mohammed Belhaj, the owner and head chef, is from the nearby Rif Mountains. And he sources a lot of his stuff, his produce and his greens from there. And he's real proud of them. The back room of the place is dedicated to sorting and drying various herbs, which he blends into a secret mix he claims has all sorts of healthful and boner-inspiring benefits. Look, if every dish I've been told over the years was gonna make me strong worked, I'd have a permanent pup tent going on down there. So I take all that with a grain of salt.
Hi.
Hello.
How are you?
Belhaj's son, Hassan, delivers the food.
It's olive.
It all starts with fresh olives. They're in season now, and roasted walnuts. Some warm, very good bread.
Squishy.
Juice.
Oh yeah, and you get this stuff. Everybody gets it. A pulpy puree of figs, raisins, strawberries.
Drink.
And full of Muhammad's potent herbs and spices, of course.
All the night, 24 o'clock.
Yeah, I get it. It's supposed to make me more manly. You know what? I'm eating. Let's not talk about that, okay, sunshine?
I got a lot. Welcome.
What is a tagine, anyway? It's a traditional Moroccan stew that can include vegetables, meat, or fish. Tonight, baby shark, calamari, and monkfish with fresh mountain spinach. Slowly cooked over charcoal in the classic clay pot that gives it its name, the tagine's dome top is supposed to force the condensation back into the dish and keep it moist and tender.
That's delicious. I think it's like these greens and aromatics and herbs. I have no idea what they are. I've never had anything like them. Tangier version of farm to table.
Hi.
Oh, hi.
Good.
Wow, what's that?
There was grilled charcoal.
Thank you.
Charcoal.
And a whole turbo, brushed with olive oil, salt and pepper, and some coriander, then grilled perfectly over the coals. Cuddled up next to the fish, tiny shark kebabs. Cute.
Wow. Spectacular. It's good value. All of this for 20 bucks. I think we did a pretty good job on Mr. Fish. That'll teach you. Freaking yummy. It's like that guy when, you're tripping and it goes like this to you.
Hi.
For dessert, strawberries, pine nuts, and honey. Like the whole meal, it's eccentric and delicious.
Thank you. You're welcome.
I haven't had so much fruits and nuts since Altamont. I told Mick, I said, Mick, this is a bad crowd. Get back in the chopper. But he's like, oh, no, man, we can't disappoint the fans. Memories.
In Tangier, I lived in one room in the native quarter. I had not taken a bath in a year, nor changed my clothes, or removed them, except to stick a needle every hour in the fibrous gray wooden flesh of terminal addiction. I never cleaned or dusted the room. Empty ampule boxes and garbage piled up to the ceiling. Light and water long since turned off for non-payment. I did absolutely nothing. I could look at the end of my shoe for 8 hours. I was only roused to action when the hourglass of junk ran out. The words of William Seward Burroughs, one of my heroes. He came to Tangier in 1953, shortly after shooting his wife to death in a drunken accident in Mexico City. He was a heroin addict, a homosexual, and an inspiration to those proto-hipsters who came to be known as the Beats. Burroughs, however, was not a hipster. There was nothing beatnik about him. He was a somewhat stuffy, well-dressed St. Louis son of a good family, gone wrong. He was also, to my mind, the greatest writer of the whole damn bunch. On the road, you can have it. His classic Naked Lunch was written here. A nonlinear, dark, dry-humored, searingly critical, satirical, and profane masterpiece. Burroughs was apparently high for much of the process, on heroin or a locally available prescription opiate called Eucadol. And of course, the daily staple of many in these parts, hashish, keef, and majoun. Hashish is the concentrated THC-rich resin of the cannabis plant, as well as varying amounts of its flowers and leaves that have been separated from the buds and compressed into sheet or brick-like form. Keef, a more local and indigenous product, is the part of the plant containing only the strongest concentration of psychoactive ingredients. Majoun is a confection made from keef, fruits, nuts, chocolate, and honey. I was, of course, fascinated by this product since reading about it and inquired of some local contacts, who shall necessarily go unnamed. How was it made? This was what I wanted to know. They were kind enough to demonstrate. Keef is first chopped into fine granules and then slowly added to melted butter and chocolate over a low heat to toast it and release the psychotropic goodies within. While the binder element of the majoon is slow cooking in the pan, a combination of spices are blended with cashews, almonds, walnuts, and dried fruit. This will be the framework to suspend the THC-laden goodness in the next step. The cannabis-laced butter chocolate is added, along with plenty of honey, to bind together all the ingredients. Then, mix. Last, you roll the entirety of the mixture into a ball and either refrigerate or dig right in. Of course, network standards and practices prohibit me from even tasting this delicious and reportedly mind-altering treat. I'm guessing anyway. So until I see Christian and Wolf doing bong rips in the Situation Room, I will of course abide by these rules. Because that's the kind of guy I am. There is one particular cafe in the heart of the Casbah that has drawn in foreign dignitaries, rock stars, aristocrats, and artists since it opened its doors in 1943. Cafe Baba. Sweet mint tea in a thick, slow-moving haze of smoke. It smells like my dorm room, 1972.
Good evening, hello.
Hi, I'm George.
This is George Bajalia and Zineb Benjaloun.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Welcome to Cafe Baba.
I should say right now, I have no direct knowledge or awareness of either George or Zineb smoking any illegal substances, nor do I have any contemporaneous recollection at this time of me doing anything untoward in their presence. Because that would be like, wrong, dude.
Some tea?
George is here on a Fulbright scholarship, and Zineb is an artist from Rabat. Others in the room, however, well, don't give me that innocent look, you young punks. I know somebody in here smoking reefer.
So, how stoned are people here?
We can ask. Just ask.
You're not getting totally ripped here.
No. It's a functional part of daily life. For a long time, the rest of the country and the government didn't really like Tangier a whole lot. Because it was seedy. There were these foreigners who came here and did.
The new king is
he likes Tangier.
He likes.
Yeah, it makes money.
He sees it as a future economic superpower, as I understand it. He's talking condos, boutique hotels. Is that good or bad?
For Moroccans, it's work,
right.
But of course, expats want to keep Tangier like they know it before.
I mean, this cafe is very similar to the way it was, but there's a TV right there.
Flat screen.
And that's why a lot of people come here. They come to watch soccer games.
You can well imagine the American guy who's lived in Tangier for 30 years, okay? He comes in and there's a flat screen TV on the wall. He's like, what the?
Yeah,
You've ruined the authenticity and integrity. But the Moroccan guy at the next table, he's saying, wait a minute, asshole, you have a flat screen TV at home. I want one too. What's wrong with that?
Yeah, there are people here who've probably never heard of Paul Bowles.
Right.
If you only follow that, there's no progression, there's no progress, there's no change.
The thing about Cafe Baba is that just sitting here, taking in the atmosphere, you begin to appreciate the place.
It's something different is happening here.
Contact high. Whoa, I'm hungry. Wait until the Spanish tortilla dude across the street opens for business. This is Abdullah. He specializes in making one thing, and he makes it well. An omelet. Well, it's actually more like a Spanish tortilla, but like stonier. The potatoes are boiled, diced, then mixed with beaten eggs and cooked in a cast iron skillet. Oh yeah, the eggs, the Eggman. I am me and we are you, and where's my omelet, dude? Cause I am hungry.
Assalamu alaikum, Sayyidi. 1, 2, 3.
Abdullah is just waiting for you, right when you come stumbling out of Cafe Baba. Coincidence? or not. You be the judge.
Ketchup and mayonnaise, everything.
Ketchup and mayonnaise? Sure, why not? Condiment options I would be hard-pressed to turn down at this precise moment anyway.
A lot of mayonnaise. Just a munchie.
Dude, that's awesome. I'll have 12 more.
Paul Bowles lived in Tangier for over 50 years, and sherry nutting was part of his inner circle near the end of his life. She was his friend, record keeper of sorts, and photographer.
You arrived when?
I came in the 70s, but I went down to Marrakesh. And then in '86, I wrote a letter to Paul Bowles and said I had to meet him and take his picture. And he wrote back and he said, come and visit. Well, I never left.
Like a lot of people came here to live that dream or to live that life. Has the reality come to resemble his perception of the reality, or?
The Tangier that I see is Paul Bowles, and I still see it. I still feel it. You can still find the magic.
The market, or souk in Tangier, is one of the best in all Morocco. The food stalls and vendors are still pretty impressive. Wander the markets long enough and you're sure to stumble across the unexpected. Hooves? Sure. How about a lamb's head? Here, nothing goes to waste. Charbroiled to crispy burnt perfection, the meat is scraped off and served on a crusty lunch bread. Not so adventurous, the Grand Soko's indoor market offers a variety of smoked, cured, and fresh meat.
Smells good in here. This stuff looks good. Oh, I've heard this cheese is amazing.
It's good, yeah.
Can I have one?
A Berber favorite, fresh goat cheese wrapped in palm leaves.
Yeah, they're beautiful, aren't they?
That's good.
Shukran bizarre.
A little cheese, a little flatbread, the perfect Moroccan breakfast to go. We're headed into the Jabala foothills of the Rif mountain range, about 85 kilometers south of Tangier, to a place called Jajouka. The village is home to the people of the Al-Sharif tribe, which loosely translated means the saintly people. Jajouka is also home to one of Morocco's better-known musicians, Bashir Attar. Jazz and rock and roll musicians have traveled from all over the world to Jajouka to meet this guy. Bashir is part of a lineage of master musicians, all from this small mountain village. Famously dubbed as a 4,000-year-old rock band by William Burroughs, Bashir, his son, and these musicians maintain one of the oldest still-living musical traditions on Earth. We're invited for dinner. It's family style, of course. Beginning with brewad, like a kefta pocket. Hand-formed envelopes of dough filled with seasoned beef, baked until golden, then crisped in oil.
Oh, we're good for now. Well, one more. Uh-oh, here we go.
The main event, tagine of chicken.
Yeah, welcome, Tony.
Thank you. Just gorgeous.
First, chopped onions, garlic, parsley, and turmeric are blended with olive oil. The bird is generously coated and stuffed. Then, after simmering in a touch of olive oil and water, the chicken is fried till crispy. Served with roasted almonds and olives, paprika, and ginger. Nice.
He smells the food.
Like anywhere else in the Arab world, eating with your hands, always the right one, is proper dining etiquette.
This is special spinach of Jajouka and hot dog.
It's like wild spinach that grows in the mountains.
Bokala is chopped mountain spinach, garlic, cilantro, hot and black peppers, finished with lemon and olive oil.
That's delicious.
Yes. I heard you are the greatest taste for food in the world, man.
I love good food. This is good.
Yeah.
After dinner, some fruit, some mint tea, and let the music begin. For centuries, the master musicians of Jajouka have been the musical choice of the royal families of Morocco, excused by the country's rulers from manual labor to devote themselves to musical training. Their powerful style of Sufi trance music has inspired many musical seekers, including most notably perhaps Paul Bowles, who wrote about them and recorded them and spread the word. Brian Jones was here and recorded the Pipes of Pan at Jajouka with these musicians. The word spread, and the master musicians have ended up being featured on albums by Maceo Parker, Ornette Coleman, and the Rolling Stones. For years, if you were a rock god, you had to come here. Dig the crazy percussion and strings and pipes that took you to another place. It's intricate, hypnotic, beautiful. And if you're in the right frame of mind, mesmerizing. Anyone who comes to Tangier inevitably ends up lost in the old part of the city. The Medina is just what you want it to be. The ancient world residing just next to and around the new one. You can walk around inside the movie in your head, play the bogey character you never were, all against an all too willing, all too genuine backdrop. Ordinarily, just about the last thing in the world I'd be interested in doing is antiquing. But buried in the network of twisting, narrow streets of the old city is Boutique Majid, owned and operated and personally curated by this man, Abdelmajid Rais Selfeni.
Hello.
How are you?
And he is one interesting guy.
Thank you.
Come in.
When he was a little kid back in the 60s, Majid left his hometown of Fez and came here, where he'd earn a few dirham a night emptying ashtrays at the wild and extravagant parties being thrown here by wealthy expats. He saw what these people would buy for themselves and how they decorate their homes, and he started to look around for himself, scoring, then reselling art and antiques.
Wow.
It became something of an obsession. Now his artifacts from Morocco and all across northern Africa are bought by collectors from all over the world. Carpets, antiques, wood carvings, jewelry, and old doors.
Wow, these are incredibly beautiful.
Tell me about that.
Amber, coral, shells. This used to be currency, this shell.
How old is this?
This is early 20s, late 19th. The amber is millions of years old.
How much are you selling this piece for?
By weight.
By weight?
Yes, quite a heavy piece, this one, 429 grams. So it comes like 42,000 dirhams.
So that's how much in dollars?
Like almost 5,000, 4,500.
About $5,000.
Almost.
So we look at another floor?
Oh, yes, follow me. Yeah, there's a nice collection of things from the Sahara.
So you travel a lot?
Not like you.
Oh, this is for pounding manioc?
Yes, this is from the Dogon tribe from Mali.
How much will this sell for, do you
This
think?
around $300.
Really? For this? That's very reasonable.
Yes.
I'll be buying that. That's going to be an old friend.
Also memory.
And a memory
Tangier.
of Tangier as well.
Majid suggests lunch at Andalus, a locals-only place nearby.
As a Moroccan, so many Westerners who come to Tangier come with a romantic notion of a Tangier they read about in books. Do people have a realistic expectations when they come here? Are they looking for Morocco, or are they looking for this phantasm?
No, it is a phantasm. It is when you get here, if you know Morocco, you feel that you're in Morocco, but you're not. There's a lot of Mediterranean touch to this town. And also the history, people hear story about Tangier that it was. Like when I first came in the 60s, everybody said to me, you came late. Tangier was.
It's right.
Now I'm saying the same thing as these young now. They come and they say, wow. I said,
what was better about those days?
well, you see, for me at that time I was young, and it was the boom of hippies. And it was the destination. You know, Coffee Papa, you meet Bob Dylan, you go here, catch Steve. And the parties was going on. I missed this kind of parties. People fly from everywhere to the party. And they make the whole town move. Blue and white party, white and gold party, hat party. You know, it's amazing. And you see people coming with amazing hats, like a cage with a bird, extravagant hats. You know, it's like people put so much energy and time into these parties, you know. Look at the...
Oh, now that looks good.
Tomatoes brushed with local olive oil, garlic, and coriander. Liver kebabs, beef liver to be exact, grilled over charcoal.
Oh, now that looks very nice.
For fish, a bit of swordfish and some orange roughy.
That is just beautiful.
How do you like the tomato?
Oh, and the swordfish is amazing.
Yeah.
So how else have things changed?
You saw how many tourists there was today?
They're in a hurry.
If they come to the shop, they even try to avoid your eye contact. They're afraid if you get my eye contact, I'm gonna rip you off
Or make you buy something that they don't want to buy.
I don't know. They have this...
Do they buy?
They don't even say hello.
They don't buy?
Of course. We call them penguin. They have short hands, doesn't get to the pockets. I mean, I'm just kidding.
When Tangier was inner zone back in the day, it seemed to some, I'm sure, as if the expats outnumbered the locals. That was never true, but you certainly could live a life apart, make your own world within the existing one, reinvent yourself and live entirely within a universe of your own creation. Far from the Gran Soko is a 14-acre estate owned by Christopher Gibbs, a well-known dealer of antiques and longtime expat. Today, he's having a garden party. Who's coming? Jonathan, you know. Maggie Dean is from Scotland. She's been living here for more than a decade. G.P. de Richemont, a Frenchman who has his hands on a lot of businesses, including a cafe in the Casbah. Years living in Tangier? Unknown. Bianca Hamri, an American. She's been here forever, led many lives, I gather, and occasionally translates books from Maghrabi to English. And the dashing and mysterious Baron de Coquita Gondarillas, an artist from Chile who's been living and working in the Casbah since a hasty exit from Puerto Rico for reasons never fully explained. On the menu, Bastia. A meat or often pigeon pie, as traditional Moroccan as it gets. Today made by Gibbs' full-time cooks, Jamila and Fatima. In Bastia, the meat on this particular day is chicken, which is slow-cooked in broth and spices, pulled or shredded, and then folded into an egg mixture cooked in the reduced stock from the boil. This is layered with blanched almonds, powdered sugar, and cinnamon. And then the whole lot is then wrapped in feuille de brique, a crepe-like dough. After baking to a golden crispiness, the final touch is a dusting of even more cinnamon and sugar. It's got a sweet, savory thing going on. And it's quite tasty.
Yeah, exactly. If you get nervous when you go in a room and you touch the light switch and the lights don't come on, you shouldn't be in this country.
What was that first moment you said, you know, I could live here?
I'm still quite unsure about that. Now, I came here first in 1958, when it was quite different. Everyone wore native dress.
Yes.
But Islam, still the throbbing motor of life here. I have very tender feelings for Morocco and the friendliness and courtesy of the people and of the children who, you know, they don't say off granddad like they do in England. They say, bonjour monsieur, ça va bien, belle journée, blah, 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 blah.
I always feel welcome here. I never consider that this is mine. It's theirs, and they've allowed me to live here in a very nice way, and I feel recognition. They know who I am. They know who I am.
There is a side-by-side aspect to life here that's very unusual.
Very unusual here. It's mostly, you can do whatever you want if you do it with good manners.
But it is a sort of a station of the cross for, you know, the bad boys of culture. I mean, Verlaine, Rimbaud, Iggy Pop, the Stones,
Burroughs and Geisen. And
Burroughs writes about, he came here to be a writer.
He was a junkie before he was a writer.
As so many of us were. But I think this was a place if you wanted to think of yourself as a writer, you would come here and somehow, you were working within a romantic tradition.
Yes.
Burroughs said right up front,
yes.
To me, a writer, from when I was a little boy, a writer was a guy who lounged around in a smoking jacket or a caftan, smoking a hash pipe or an opium pipe,
yes.
in a beautifully anointed house littered with sleeping boys.
Yes,
or
girls.
Well, whatever. To what extent did that world exist, and to what extent was that world created by the people who showed up with that expectation?
Since Bill departed, R.I.P., dear, wonderful, marvelous man, since he's gone, it's a bit tame now. It's a bit
it is tame.
Well, he was
genteel now.
He was the very opposite of genteel. He was an outlaw for every society.
My husband knew him very well, and he was telling me, yes, Bill, and I said, he said, I cured him of being a drug addict. I said, how? He said, I turned him into an alcoholic.
But who smokes hashish at this table? Please raise your hand.
Is the camera on?
Blanca, put your hands up, Blanca.
It's my last night in Tangier, and I'm headed out.
Is that Blanca one?
Thank you, yes.
Most cities of the Islamic world, getting a beer can be difficult. Not here. Long as you're outside the Medina, nearly anything goes. Tangier reverts to its libertine past. Here, Western influences become very apparent. Any night of the week is a good night for young Moroccans to take to the streets of the Ville Nouveau. Othman Nossairi is from a generation of Moroccans far removed from the romantic conceits of the Burroughs era. He's invited me out for a casual snack. Bocadillos, Spanish-style sandwiches with tuna, veggies, hard-cooked eggs, and a healthy wad of mayo. A crispy layer of French fries within the sandwich.
This is delicious, by the way. The bread here is very good. You work in a magazine, journalist.
Yeah, I'm not a journalist, but I own an urban magazine here in Tangier to inform Moroccans. We are living in a place that's pretty special. It's not for any purpose that William Burroughs or Paul Bowles or Henri Matisse, all these people came to Tangier. The city has something which makes it different from other cities.
Well, what about young artists, young writers, young musicians? Did they come here expecting this romantic Paul Bowles wonderland of the 50s?
Some were, I'm going to say too bohemian.
Too bohemian?
Yeah, because they thought that, coming and being an artist
is going to be enough.
It's going to be enough. It's not. Today is not enough.
Right, yeah.
It's pretty tough for them. And most of them pack their bags.
Right.
Today we have so many investments going on here in Tangier. Thanks to our king, investors are here, being attracted, tourists are attracted. But the most important part of it is that we should keep the old parts of the city intact. The Kasbah, the Medina.
The Medina.
That's what's hard to do, because when you have a European purchasing power coming over here to Tangier.
They come, well, like we come. We embrace it, other people want to come, and then we f it all up. Will Tangier's unique character survive?
I hope so. I really hope so.
Tangier is Morocco, always was Morocco. And recently, the country's leadership seems to have embraced it in all its ill-reputed glory. The days of predatory poets in search of literary inspiration and young flesh are probably over for good. Hippies can just as easily get their bong rips at Portland or Peoria. But the good stuff, the real good stuff, the sounds and smells and the look of Tangier, what you see and hear when you lean out the window and take it all in, that's here to stay.